Okay, I think we're live, so we're gonna see a quick tutorial here, if I can get through it, of how to get information from our Google form into our Trello inbox. So this global form, uh, when populated and submitted, will add a card with all that information into the inbox here. The way that works is um, this spreadsheet, which is associated with the global form. So information goes in here, submit, information goes into the spreadsheet. That's automated by Google. And then what we've done is written a script to send an email with the information from the spreadsheet to Trello. So this script will send an email to this address every time it runs. So this script is named on form submit, and the triggers, which means this script runs every time the form is submitted. So every time this form is submitted, we've set this little script named onFormSubmit to run. And this is the code that takes the information from the spreadsheet and formats it into an email. So where you have your email, your subject, and your message. This is your email address. So first I'll show you where we got this email address. If you go into Trello, and this sidebar, in the menu for the board, email to board settings, and it comes up with this address. It's different for everybody, and it's different for every board, so that's just where we got that. So really all that's left to do is talk about kind of the nuts and bolts of what these are. So I'm not incredibly familiar with the format here, but you can see you can name these variables anything you want to. So the campaign name corresponds to e.values4. So this is an array based on this information. So it's going to grab the information in the fourth column, which actually starts with 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. It should grab this, which is a brief description of the campaign. So every time a new line or new form gets submitted and this row gets populated, this variable called campaign name is going to take whatever in this box and assign it to the campaign name variable. So that's the same for the rest of these. So each one of these variables corresponds to some information in this form. So then this next part is setting the subject line of the email, and what we want to do is set that equal to the campaign name, and this is some marker that Trello recognizes. So these quotations add this text as text to the subject line in the email. So writing the variable itself calls this variable and the information within this spreadsheet. So this will add whatever the information in that spreadsheet is, and then append this text onto the end of this and onto the end of that, and assign that to subject variable. Same sort of thing with the message variable here. So we've formatted each one of these messages for each one of the forms to be specific to how we want it to be represented in Trello in the inbox. So you can see we've got some text submitted by, and then we add the variable contact name. Now contact name corresponds to the number 1 position, which is the name of the person who submitted it. Remember, 0, then 1. And we go down and populate it here. Note that it's important to keep parentheses and proper spacing around between your variables and your text, and also to include a semicolon at the end of each of these lines. You can tell there's not one on the end of each of these lines because technically that's not an end of the line. It's really just a visual. So this is read as all one line. So all of this is assigned to the variable message. And then down here at the end, this is the command that actually sends the email to this address. So the first variable in this command is you're going to send the email to this address with subject, this variable subject in the subject line, and then this as the message. So that basically explains how we have that set up now. I can try to do a live test here, which is always risky, but let's just see if it works out. Alright, pick any date. Then we'll submit. So that should show up in Trello relatively quickly. So I should receive a notification here eventually. Just a quick note that you can change any of this stuff. So if you ever need to change the information from the form, you can change it in the form. Just make sure that the numbers and the variables match up to the responses. The other thing that you want to watch out for is, again, to make sure that the triggers are set appropriately. So make sure you've got the right function name, and that it actions on form submit, so it'll know when to run this program. Alright, well, I was trying to stall to see if it popped up, but it didn't, so I'm just going to stop there and accept failure, but that's that's how it works. And it should pop up eventually, and there's always some playing around that you have to do. So I will leave you with that.